Hey, what's going on? This is EMT coming at you. And I wanted to have a discussion with y'all um, on something that I hear a lot of. It's echoed out about how um, hearing the sentiment of a statement is when people say that, hey, that the woman is keeping them from their child. And I like say that that is a thing. Is a thing that it can happen. It can happen, and it can be fought in court. It can be. I know a lot of men who have a lot of men. But then there's also another um, variable of an equation that happens way too much more. I can understand that of the woman keeping the child from being able to see the father. But I'm also gonna bring up something that happens way too much that has done way more damage. Has done a lot of problematic damage. And you will say, well, BMT, what is that? Why are kids out here begging? Or why does the child have to beg for their father to come around? Why does the child have to blow up your phone over and over and over again? Are you coming, Dad? Are you coming? Are you gonna spend time with me? Are you gonna play with me? Well, somebody will say naturally, well, that's the mother's fault. Of course, I know that's what they say on these YouTube or whatever type of things, whatever these weird people say. Nobody had to tell you to come get the vajayjay. So nobody should have to tell you to come put in time with your child. Nobody should have to come tell you to put in time with your child. To come, I'll pick them up or I'll come see them when I feel like it. There seems to be an ongoing issue and problem that we see going on in society. You can watch from the clouds if y'all want. I don't care. This is also a problem. I think when we look at it, we have to start asking why are men not choosing to want to actually? Why are some men not choosing to not want to spend time with their kid? Not want to go to not want to go to their kid's school, not want to actually interact with their teachers, not actually want to go help them build in a community where they can go to the park, do social programs that actually benefit, and teach them how to do stuff like. I think there was a program back when um it was like fishing with grandpas, and there was a bunch of older guys who would have fishing canes. They're canes. They're like canes. They're not actual fishing poles like the ones that you buy. And you as a boy or girl could go out there. I remember a few men at the church. They're old. Some of them they're gone now. They're like older men. Like they're too old to go out fishing now. But they would set it up. They would set it up to where you could go out there and fish with them, and they didn't have to be your dad. They just went out there. What was the thing that was crazy about it was they started that program because they figured that, well, no, ain't no men doing that with the kids. Ain't no men doing that with the kids. So guess what? They just said, well, we'll do that. And why does it have to be like that? Whereas to somebody has to do something with your child rather than you. Really gonna say I gotta work? Okay, I'll give you that, but so much. Not like you can't go take that day off. And not like you can't go make full effort. You don't get a job that gets paid time leave. Now I know some people they can't stand saying a lot of they're dead. A lot of them are dead now. Them older black granddads, they dead. The ones that would fill in the gap and actually want to do things with these kids, step in to fill in the crack, come pick up the kid and take them to church, teach them how to play the drum, take them to recital. A lot of them dads that or dudes who didn't mind, but we're not gonna pretend that kids don't beg and not begging nowadays for their dads to come around. Why don't y'all? Why don't y'all ever talk about that? I always wonder why don't men ever talk about the dudes who do that? Well, then I guess that means that says a lot about those type of men. If you're saying, oh, because you gotta understand, man. You gotta understand that when you have it, whereas to people who don't mind going out there and making with who are doing, and thank you for that. Actually, you don't mind me if I read that, Bacon? I'm dealing with that with my daughter's biological father. He rather sell drugs and move to Cali from Nevada rather than get a regular job and be um around her all the time. I got her, she'll be fine. Thank you for that. Um so let's get that out the way. Like I said, let's get that out the way. Because we have a lot of men. You gotta be careful, Bacon. You gotta be careful. A lot of these black men, they might attack you in these spaces now because you gotta understand, man. You're a cleanup man. Don't worry, I'll do a talk about that. I'll do a talk about that. You gotta be careful, Bacon. That a lot of men don't like the men. See, a lot of men, you don't have it. Only time they start caring about the child is when other men are getting recognition for doing something that those same men should have done with their child. How you doing, Miss Old School? Oh man, no, no, don't. I see. That's what I said. That's why I'm not banging on just race. I don't have to bang on race about this topic. See, I work around the school. I work around kids. Don't matter white, black, Hispanic. Don't even matter. This ain't even no kind of community talk. This is a father talk. Now you don't even have to identify him as a race. Just identify him as a piece of crap. Why do kids have to blow up your phone to say, "Hey, Dad, you want to go out roller skating"? There's a lot of children. I can call up a lot of children or talk to a lot of people about this, man. Nobody can keep me from my child. Nobody can. Nobody can. There's men that like to come around and complain about that of the state of fatherhood. And yeah, the state of fatherhood is getting worse, is getting bad. We can also understand, yes, the state of parenting is getting bad. There should be never be a reason why you. There should never be a reason why a man would choose to. You can make a child, but you choose not to want to take care of your own child. Well, it's the woman's fault. Maybe she complied to me. Ooh, that's your child. Like I said, if I would ask y'all, let's two can get on the phone right now and call their kid right now. How many of y'all men can say y'all can do it right now? How many of y'all got y'all kids' school y'all teachers' numbers? Let's ask them real quick. How many of y'all go to y'all kids' school? No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Hood Servant is just he's just trolling. He don't ever talk about his kids like that. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm not worried about him. Only time whenever I talk about parenting, that's just one of the things he does. But he knows. Understand this. He can't come at my parenting. Thank you, Miss Old School. Let's ask the question: how many of y'all actually go to y'all kids' school? How many of y'all actually go to y'all kids' PTA function? Be there before they even have to call y'all. Y'all just go by there and walk the halls. See, this is the thing about when you're being a parent. You don't just do it when somebody calls you to do it. You do it because that's your obligation to do it. There's no court order that keeps a parent from actually communicating unless there's something wrong with that same parent. Thank you, Bacon. Well, keep on fighting for every man with your kid. So when they get old enough, when they turn 15, you can show them all the court document. Hey, I fought, I fought, I fought. Make sure you show them that court document saying you fought. But the rest of us, we don't. I want my kid to know when they have a school event, daddy was there. I don't mind them. Hey, these are the receipts. Now that you old enough, these are the receipts to show daddy was putting in money in a bank account for you. It will matter. See, I know. See, the thing about it is, you got to be mindful of when and how. This is why I said that everybody likes to talk about making a baby. Everybody likes to talk about the state of how people in society act. But how many of y'all actually fight to be around y'all kids? See, we got it where kids scream, kick, cry, have all kind of mental upsets and breakdown. But they're like, yo, where's this? Where's my daddy? Where's my daddy? I watch kids at school brag and beg. Huh? I know men that fight every hour to put forth the effort to building their child. Then you'll have it where you'll get these guys who don't mind wearing name brand clothes, who'll wear the name brand clothes, make sure they look fresh, make sure that they have a nice lifestyle, but their child look like a Salvation goddamn video. Your whole kid look like a refugee. Listen, bro. See, I don't know if some of y'all understand that. Raising a child is a fight. Raising a child is a battle. Don't worry, David's triggered by this topic. I know David triggered by this topic. He can't saying slave. I don't know how he says slave. Like a slave can't fight. Duh. A slave can't fight. A slave is a slave. Why would I not fight for my child? Why would a man not want to fight for his child's education, fight for his child's opportunities? I see men punching over 40 hours for their kids to go play in baseball, softball, gymnastics. They're the biggest supporter. Buying matching uniforms. I love showing my kids, this is what I do for you. So that way, when it's your time for your next generation, see, what we have around are men that are scared to put forth the effort. Whether they got some kind of psychological thing going on with their mommies and their daddies, whether they're inexcusably weak, whether they did not have the gall or the courage to actually do what they needed to do. You're right, Bacon. Priorities are messed up if a man won't fight for his kid. If he think that's weak or less than, but then you'll get mad when somebody else, a man or a system, steps in and does your job. And it ain't going to be a fair fight because the world wants access to your child. The world wants to dictate the actions of you as a parent. But you're supposed to be a man. Why do you have that a child is fighting harder to want to be in your presence and you want to be that parent that shows this is the presence of my child? Y'all will know the imprint that I put upon my seed that puts upon your earth. You can't deny me on what I'm saying. Ain't no man or no woman that hears what I say outside of y'all stupid little spaces can ever deny what B and P be saying. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all only know me in this space. Y'all don't really know me. Yes, I agree, Shannon B. Having to fight for a child is the problem. But guess what? Men have been fighting for their kids since the dawn of time. Men have been fighting for their kids since the dawn of time. Fighting for more land, fighting for bigger advantages, fighting for legacy. That is that of being a man. You're going to do that so that way your legacy can thrive. If that's not your prerogative as a man, when you have your child, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Well, I mean, just speak for you, conservative. Don't speak for me. No, they lying. They actually lying. But actually, we could pull out men that actually have visitation of their kids. I actually know too many men that actually now have custody of the kids now. I'm sorry, man. Like I don't go off. I don't go off of what David. I can't go off of what David said. I can't use David. Sorry, David just said he a slave, so I can't talk to David. I don't know how to talk to a slave. I can't help a slave. David got to come see me when he learns how to fight. He too triggered right now. He's too emotional. What I'm talking about right now, men have always been fighting for that of the domination of their seed. This is why you hear where some people will brag about the last name. Uh-oh. Shannon, be careful, bro. Be careful. Be careful. Hang on, Shannon. I have full custody of all 6 of mine. Boy, oh boy. And I know more men that have custody of their kids. What's up, Lawrence? I know so many men. They don't make no excuse for other men. They make sure, yo, my kids have my last name. My kids know who their daddy is. Kids brag off what their daddy do. My daddy drive a truck. My daddy, my daddy can do this. I watch kids fight. Will get into fighting words about what their daddy do. Congratulations, Bacon. She ain't just see the thing about it is y'all want to go run to the stats, run to your stats. Run to your little stats. The rest of us are fighters. See, that's the thing about it. Your only thing y'all can do is run to your stats. If the school system said they wanted to put your child on Ritalin, you want to just listen to them? Well, we took a test. Your child should be on medication. Nah, my kid ain't doing no medication. What we're going to do is we're going to actually implement a program to help my kid get better with their reading. What we're going to do every night, I'm going to stay up and help my kid. See, that's fighting for that. Now I am a reality. You mad because a man said he got his kids? You mad because I said I fight for my kids? You mad because another man said that he takes care of kids even though another man runs away from the kids? That's reality. You don't want to accept that, then I don't know what to tell you. See, what you didn't want to say when you were talking about when you brought up some stats about how certain anomalies of system will try to put things on children, while other men will say, "Nah, you're not doing that to my kid." Thank you. Oh my goodness, Brandy. My husband raised his 3 children. I'm sure you're an awesome father. Thank you. I'm glad you know the other side. We didn't say that women don't get the kids, but now we can also say men are fighting. Men are fighting back to get their kids, just like you have men who don't care for their children. See, you don't want to talk about that. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. Just say that, bro. We're not. We're men doing honor killings in America. We're doing. So let me know where you gonna call honor killings? What the hell? You jumped. You so desperate. You went to a third world country for honor killings. If you want to go with honor killing, you going with the same? Are you going with the same country that have sex with goats? Yeah, you want to go with the men that have sex with goats? You want to go with the people that literally rather have virtual women for sex because they don't know how to talk to women now? Since you want to go with honor killings, let's go to that part of what their culture is doing. Huh? Please don't run that. I don't even think you've been outside the US. When you can go outside the US, then you come talk to me. They don't do no honor killings like that, buddy. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You want to bring a Muslim, you want to bring up Muslim men. I know a lot of Islamic brothers, they fight for their kid. I know a lot of Islamic brothers, even though the courts be banging against them, they do for the kid. But somehow you want to run to a culture, yet what culture are you building for your child? Since you want to talk about culture. See, this is a problem. You have it where some black man is talking about a culture, but you got to ask questions. So, black men, since you want to talk about culture and honor killings, what culture are you building for your child? There you go. You back to trolling. Thank you. I'd rather you go back to trolling. Stay. Don't go down that. Don't go down that path with me. You can. I'll show you some pictures of me outside the country. Can you do the same? Okay then. Until we can get there, let's not have to talk about outside the country. We can't do that. I need you to show me the equal input of what you've done. See, you're known for your work of what you do. People know what I do. This is the thing about it. When we talk about this at the table, the brothers who are actually here that say, "Yo, I'm fighting for my kids." What? Have you ever seen a beheading? I've seen one. No, let me get back to it. Let me get back to it. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna need you to start. You're gonna have to start like super chatting me if you're gonna talk to me. Okay? And you're trying to throw off my message, and I get why you're derailing me. So I'm gonna help you with this one. I'm gonna help you with this one. Just for this one. Okay? Okay? So let's get back to it. When it comes to having these types of things, we're going to be honest, man. There's a lot of men, regardless of race, color, creed, that literally have an issue with if they can't have their way, they don't want it no way of dealing with a kid. Nobody should have to force you to care about your child, to want to go down there, take your child down there to the doctor. See, this is the thing about it where you're only person you're hurting is your child at this point. That ain't my job. That's the mama job. No, that's your job too. You are also a parent. Nobody should have to beg you to be a daddy. That's your job. That's your job, man. But then y'all wonder why other people try to step in and start to try to put in some all kind of issues with the home. While a lot of these kids fall prey, man, you'd be surprised the respect of you just taking a football and just throwing football with your kid. Teach your teach your child how to ride a bike. Help your kid with math problems, just sit there and listen. Just sit there and listen to them read. Help them with their speech. See, that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. Some brothers, Bacon, sadly, like to say they only like being around their kid when they can brag off the convenience. Look at the fresh gear. See, we have it now. We have this generation of men. I call them Facebook or social media daddies. They don't actually they don't actually fuck with their kid. They just like to show off. Look at me. You see my you see my kid. See why I put my kid in this nice gear. See I bought my kid this 4-wheeler. But you don't have no time. That kid don't care about them. You putting on some nice little what $150 suit on them, buying them name. Kids don't care about name brand. I'm gonna tell you right now. You think a kid cares about name brand shoes versus a kid that actually you put some shoes on their feet and say, hey, let's go outside and go do some cool stuff like go karting, paintballing. Let's go for a jog. See, if you built your child up properly, they wouldn't care about that materialistic stuff like that. This is why you got a lot of kids now. They more covet materialism over being that or that reverence of a daddyism. And you have it now with all these weirdos coming around. I'll be your daddy. I'll step up and be your daddy. I got you, baby. Men that want to placate daddy. They want to placate daddy at their convenience. And then other men will step in and take advantage. Just like women. Don't worry. I will talk about the women. Don't worry. I will talk about the women. I will. But I'm addressing the brothers first. I'm addressing the men. I'm addressing the men. I've been there and I've seen a lot of men. I've told a lot of men, hey, bro, what are you doing down here at the pool hall? Why your kid's mother calling down here at the office asking for you to come by, come take the baby? Man, I gave her a child support check. You know what me and the other guys will do? Take him outside, have a talk with, hey, bro, your child is not your child is not down to the level. See, that's the thing about it. Some men, because they have to pay child support, will say, fuck that kid. Some men, because they have to pay child support, will say, fuck that kid. And I get it, child support sucks. It's a bitter pill. But your child didn't put you on child support. Your child didn't take you before that judge. Your child ain't the one that running a whole bank account or anything. Your child is a child. Why y'all take it out on the child so damn much? Granted, yes, we get it. There are kids that out there that do things. They do stupid shit. And I'm sorry to hear that, Bacon. I know a lot of fathers, I know a lot of men, brother, that think like that, man. I know a lot of men that think like that. Because and don't worry, I'll do a talk like that. I will do that discussion. A lot of men that pay child support, they fuck that kid. That was it. If I gotta pay child support, I ain't coming around that kid. Wait. So because you gotta pay child support, that's how far your parental rights go. Your parental rights go as far as that of a dollar. Because you got to pay your $250. That's as far as your parents can go every 2 weeks. So that means $125 a week is the ongoing rate for you to have to give a shit about your child. No offense, but $250 ain't shit. I'm gonna just be honest with you. $250 really ain't shit. That's that McDonald's salary shit. That don't weigh out doggone spending time with that child, make sure that child's mentally, psychologically, spiritually built, helping them build up their confidence, raising them how to be a good young man or a promising young woman. That don't child support is not the end all be all of you loving your child. It's not the end all be all of you loving your child. This is the thing that we have going on, where as to children will go and start doing self damage to themselves, start doing erratic behavior because was it they will start blaming themselves as maybe it's me the reason why my daddy don't come around. Maybe it's me. Mama, call daddy. Mama, call daddy. Mama, call him again. I've been there. I've had my kids make that call. Daddy, what you doing? I'm out working. My kid just sitting there breathing. The other kid, ask him, ask him. Ask me what? Um, 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 do you want to come over and play? Um, you want to come over and play? And stuttering. They just stuttering because they're scared. They're scared because they so badly just want you to be around them. Y'all don't get the damage a child keeps on taking when they beg for you to come around them and you let them down. Y'all don't get the damage a child faces when you beg to want them to come around. And the mama already knows your answer. The mama already knows. But see, the mama, she's gonna play quiet and say, damn, do I have to do I have to kiss his butt? Do I have to beg him? Sleep with him? What I gotta do to get this man to just and see, this is why now after a while the woman they just say, you know what, stay your ass away, man. Don't get me wrong. There are some really malicious women, and I will talk and discuss them. But I definitely want to have the conversation about this is about that of the woes of the children. So this is not this is that of if you're not that father that's doing this, you don't have nothing to worry about. If you ain't that father, see the fathers that are there that do stuff for the children, we have a disdainment for the men that knowingly choose not to doggone want to participate in raising their child. Now that's one more mouth that we have to worry about that is going to be either watching our child, but like, whoa, how come? Why is it that your child get to do that? And I can't do that. This is why you now see the vitriol of some people how they feel against father. I don't get mad when I see other men where they're on the banter of yo, we gotta protect father. I agree. I as a father, I believe that we have to protect our banner. I do believe, yes, we do need to protect our banner. But I'm also gonna say we also need to call out those fathers that drag their kids psychologically, financially, and mentally and physically, because guess what? They can't have it their way. You can't just drop off a baby like a bag of rocks and then say, hey, if I can't get the pussy, fuck that kid. If I gotta pay child support, fuck that kid. If I gotta do so, your ultimatum because you can't have it your way, fuck that kid. Your kid didn't ask. Your kid was just put here. All I said is you should never have a problem fighting for your child. Why is that a cardinal sin? Why is that a cardinal sin for you as a man to want to fight for the betterment of your child? See, I had to learn that. I had to understand and take and I had to take that pressure. It's not easy. It ain't gonna never be easy. You ask the men that raise their child and say, hey, to get their child across that stage. Shout out to the men that make sure that the kids have food on their back, food, clothes on their back, that they go punch the clock in overtime to make sure that their child has. To make sure that even heck, some of the kids in that household that ain't their kids to make sure that they have. See, you truly don't know the fight that a lot of men been doing for years. Hey, brother Baker, why are you fixing up that car, bro? You know you ain't. Why you buying that car? This car, yeah, $5,000. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it for my daughter, so that way my daughter don't have to ride with no man or some boy in the street. Guess what? She know her daddy got her. My daughter know her daddy got her. See, that's a different kind of that's a different power. She has power because you showing that guess what, baby, I got you. It's different when see that y'all like to talk about these stories of these girls or these boys getting into a situation. But see, the one of the main questions that I always like to ask, where's the daddy? See, it's a different scenario when the daddy is the stand-in. So when stuff come at that child, has to go to the father first. It has to go to the father first. And you will fight. Sometimes it takes a while. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a while. Sometimes you will be disobedient. Right here. I was a disobedient one. I was very disobedient. I had to learn. I had to learn, y'all. I had to humble myself. And now that I'm older, I don't mind going to my dad and say, thank you, daddy. I still call my daddy, daddy. Thank you, daddy. Because he's my daddy. And it was not easy for him. And this is before this space was even built. The men that I know in my family have always been fighting. The men that I have that have been put around me, I've always watched them fight for the betterment of their children. I watched them get up before the break of dawn. And I said, Daddy, come play with me. That man deadbeat tired, but still has enough energy to sit down and watch me play Nintendo. Somehow that man will show up at my school when I'm acting a class fool, pull me to the side, chop me on my butt. I didn't send you to school to be a fool. I said, dang, how do you know? I'm your father. Ain't nothing new under the sun that you doing that I don't know that you do, boy. You my boy. And because my daddy didn't mind sacrificing that, who am I not to want to sacrifice? See, that's the stoicism of being a father or a man. What you willing to put on the line so that way your child can progress past you. See, when I talk like this, and see, I bet you if I mean, see, honestly, if y'all would ask a bunch of kids, hey, how far will your daddy go for you? Does your dad support you? Does your dad have your back? See, let's actually have the real question. Don't ask the parents. Ask the kids. What has your father sacrificed for you? It's not easy, y'all. These children these days, we definitely see how society, yes, and David was right. Society is getting worse. It is getting bad. I agree. Yes, they have forged and put up the stats. See, here's the thing about it. They have put up stats saying that because you are poor, you can't be a good dad. Because you are of a certain type of diversity or background, you are incapable or don't know how to be a father. But guess what? Here we are. Men that come from different backgrounds have not had humble beginnings, and yet we go against the quota. We go against the stats, and we don't make excuses. Because because you had an ain't shit father does not give you the excuse for why you treat your child like they ain't shit. Because you had an ain't shit experience with your mama does not give you the excuse to doggone be an ain't shit problematic excuse or problem for that of women and your children. You have it where it's this I gotta get back at the world because of what happened to me. That's not an excuse, man. It's not an excuse, man. I know a lot of men that did not have a good childhood, but yet they are good men. I know a lot of men that don't even have kids. They don't have children, but they take care of and they step in to raise children. And you're like, yo, that although do you have kids, bro? Nah, I don't. But I understand that of when I get my shot, I'm gonna do that. And y'all can see, I don't deal with the men that call those type of men or call men that actually fill in the gap suckers. I don't deal with them. See, I was the men that would call those type of men suckers. Those are predatory men, and I'm gonna call them like I see them. You will attack men that are doing an honorable job and call them weak, lame, but then you will want people to hear and give a damn about your woes. But yet you will attack the men that are literally stepping up and actually filling in the gap of doing things for doggone their children or other children. I have plenty of children that I treat that I raised as my own. You can't shame me. You can't shame me, BMT. I have men that have raised me, teach me how to be respectful, say yes, sir, no, sir, taught me how to manage money, time, how to be able to accept failure and drive on. Teach me that of having that of being bold. I've had many good men, and they didn't always need money to teach me those lessons. They didn't always need money to teach me those lessons. It's just a thing that we do as men. Why should a child have to beg a father to be a dad? Why should a child have to beg, can my daddy come around? Can my daddy play with me? You know how many men are either overseas fighting, have made stupid mistakes and are in incarceration. I'm not listen, I get it. A lot of listen, you know how many men wish that they got a shot to spend time with their kid versus the men that say, well, when I get time to spend time with my kid and don't do it. Man, I don't get to see my kid. Bruh, how you sitting online, bruh? You can literally take that time. You can literally contact the school. When they have school events at the school, you can go to those. The school is a public area. You know that, right? The school is a public area. Unless your child is literally, unless A, you got some serious legal stuff going on, or B, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, your child's an adult now. Now you on a whole esoteric different field. And if your child chooses not to want to be around a good man, that's on them. Let them feel that. Let them feel that. But then they can't never say if you've been putting in the work. That's something that they need to work out psychologically. And I've had to deal with that as even for me as a man, I've had some stuff I had to deal with. I had some stuff I had to emotion. See, here's the thing about it. Some men are emotionally damaged to where they're dealing with their dad that they don't know how to deal with when it comes to their children because they're still dealing with their dad. So when they get around or they're dealing with women, that same gener that same trait, they're repeating the process. And I promise you, if I were to go over there and ask the men over there about that, how many of y'all men know men that don't take care of their kids? I could promise you, out of those 15 men, almost about all of them can raise their hand. We got to stop this. Not here's the thing. Nowadays, women will knowingly send their kids to school just to get a break. Hey, let me pick up the kid from school. Even if you only got 20 minutes just to drive your kid from that school and back, shout out to Mr. Pinckney. Mr. Pinckney, he drove truck. But before he go to get his truck, he would pick up his son and drive his kid to school. And on that 25 minute drive, talk with his kid. Sometimes if they were a little bit early, his kid would show up with McDonald's. If he had good grades or he'd been good, they'll go get some Frosties. Now, if his son didn't get to ride with his daddy, oh, he was upset. He was upset because that was his time with his daddy. And I can tell you right now, we knew there was something wrong with Mr. Pinckney. Because guess what? If he didn't get to take his son to school, either A, there was something going on with his vehicle, which that's only happened two times, or he had a load that literally was taking too long. And see, that was one thing I could tell you right now. He was, hey, y'all need to hurry up. I got to get my kid. We got to stop with this, man. Every man ain't trying to be a man to show their kid the way. Shout out to the men that get at their son to say, hey, I didn't raise you to be like that. Not to say that kid ain't gonna make some stupid mistakes, but you stay on your child. Shout out to the fathers that stay on their daughters and show them what a real man is supposed to be like. Now I know that this episode gonna probably have some issues with some people, and that's fine. But where did I lie? Even I hold my own self on the altar. Y'all have men come in here that say, "Hey, they got their kids," and men and women of different various backgrounds spoke their truth. I'm not saying some of y'all ain't, but some of y'all be projecting, and y'all got some demons y'all need to deal with, man. And I'm right here, BNT right here. Y'all can email me. Y'all want to email me and set up a talk? Y'all want to come over here and talk with me? There you go. So y'all want to talk with me? Y'all can talk with me. We can set up a conversation. But then also make sure you be realistic and say, hey, so if you're gonna talk about that, let me go ahead and go get the men that actually put in the work with their children. And what do you tell us? Because damn the stat, damn what a woman trying to say, well, fathers ain't this. Well, that's your man. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your man. They ain't got nothing. You chose that man. These men don't protect. Well, that's your man. That's your man. That ain't me. I protect my kids. I'll see you guys later. The BMT, thank y'all for listening.